Hello everyone. First and foremost, I want to wish you a very happy new year. Well, hi, my name is Sahitha and thank you if you are here just to see what my new year resolutions are. Well, just to start with and be real, most of us make new year resolutions, goals, targets, plans. But if we look at it, there are some who achieve what they wanted at least to a certain degree. But for most of us, including me, that's not the case. I have done this in the past. But it's almost like a cycle. As we move from January 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, we'll be trying some things. But different things come up. Our plans change. Circumstances change. New challenges arise. Priorities change. Well, if you are also like me, you would have noticed that by the time that you finish the first quarter, by March or April, you might have almost forgotten. Even if you are not forgotten, you might not be able to accomplish what you made. That's natural. That doesn't mean that you're not an achiever. Sometimes you may be an achiever. You might have accomplishments. For an example, if I turn back, as I have told you, I have made significant accomplishment in terms of academics. But most of them were not in my plans or goals. So, if you think, we almost have a high tendency to drift away from our focus towards the goal. We might be focusing on the work, but we might not be achieving the goals and targets as we have planned, especially the plans and new resolutions. So this year, I thought of making a change and not doing the typical conventional thing of New Year resolutions. I was thinking so much about it. It's really good to be organized. I like to make plans and work accordingly, be methodical, be organized. But sometimes we just have to be accepting our reality. Well, before we move on to my resolutions, let's discuss what is the problem with making very rigid, hard and fast goals. Is it bad or not? So, if you look at the problems associated with it, like first of all, for most of us, it seems a pressure and a stress because sometimes we just stress on the goals rather than acting on them, rather than taking mere action. Because goals are made in a certain way. Let's say you adhere to the SMART framework, like achievable, measurable goals. But still, when the circumstances change, you feel guilty. Let's say you set a goal to exercise or wake up in the morning 6 a.m. and run. But what happens if you wanted to work like long hours the previous day and you work till about 1 a.m., 2 a.m.? That happens. If you are a student, you might have to study, do homework, assignments. Or if you are doing some work, even your corporate job, sometimes you might be doing projects and sometimes you might be doing a side hustle. So you don't get to sleep on time and the following morning you don't feel like running. And you feel guilty. Moreover, like you tend to obsess over what you have said and you feel stressed and you feel the pressure, the weight of it. And eventually the goal will cease. So one other problem is the fear of failure. Sometimes we stress so much on the fear of failure rather than thinking creatively to achieve the goal. Because we have said something. I'm not telling this is the case in all situations, but sometimes the plan is important. But this is specifically for the resolution that we set for ourselves, not the projects that we do. For projects, yes, we need a plan. We make Gantt charts, we make timelines, we discuss. But the projects we have to understand the difference between projects. Projects are done collectively. So there is a higher degree of achievability. We can achieve projects because we are doing collectively, you might see the difference. I myself feel the difference. Sometimes we collectively achieve so many things, but when I set goals personally for me, they are subject to change. Well, the other thing, sometimes we are unable to justify whether the goal is at our reach, which means at our capacity. Sometimes we might set goals that we feel that we can do, we can achieve, but it might be beyond our capacity, or it might be beyond the freedom, the degrees of freedom that we have. Maybe you say you want to make videos, YouTube videos. Like me, I have set this goal so many times, but when the academics come up, when something else come up, especially in the previous year, I had tedious amount of research work to do, and my coursework in my master's degree was very challenging. So when the priorities are higher, I tend to omit this from my goal. But then what happens is, if we still try to be with our goals, we burn out, and that's a problem. And most of our resolutions lack adaptability. So all these problems, stress, pressure, the fear of failure, burnout, lack of adaptability, comes inherently with the resolutions that we make. Of course, you may find good methods over the internet in YouTube videos to make New Year resolutions. You can go with it, but this is just my personal opinion. And in contrast, do we still have advantages if we can be flexible? I see yes. I see that there are advantages of making flexible goals. Let's come to my goals at the end. But what are the perks of having some wiggling room in our resolutions, in our goals? Does that make us feel more happy or content? Yes, I feel our goals have to be flexible, especially if you are juggling with several different tasks. You are a student, you might be doing a side hustle, you might be also doing some research work, or even if you are doing a job, you might have variety of things to do in your job. So you should have some room for change in your goals. And so it's really good if you can be flexible with your goals. Then this flexibility, and you should have some room for real growth and meaning. If you think deep, sometimes you will see that there isn't room for growth, real growth and meaning in the resolutions that you make. Whether you're growing emotionally, whether you're going towards the target, the real target what you have. For an example, let's say you want to run in the morning or go into the gym. Sometimes we set goals, I'll go to the gym 4 times a week, 3 times a week. But what is our ultimate goal? It's not just going to the gym, but we want to be healthy or physically fit. Or else we want to socialize, speak or be with people. That's also a byproduct of going to the gym. But going to the gym itself is not the outcome. It's just the process. But sometimes we stress so much about the process. So we try to go to the gym 4 times. That has happened to me. I go to the gym 4 times, but I don't do the workout properly. I just cheat myself to say that I go to the gym, to feel good because I went to the gym. But that does not count, or that does not let me achieve the ultimate target of being physically fit or healthy. Instead, if we have some room for flexibility, change, we will have more ways to be creative and find the ways to become healthy. Sometimes you can change your diet. So instead of eating unhealthy and going to the gym just because you want to go to the gym, sometimes that happens to me because I just want to go to the gym. I binge eat, I eat fast food, I eat starchy food, sugary food, just to make myself motivated. But if I have a room for improvement, I'll find different ways to become healthy, because our ultimate goal is to become healthy. So I invite you to look at the ultimate goal, the meaning, the deep sense in your goals and resolutions and plans that you set for the new year. So if we try to understand the real meaning, it'll motivate ourselves. Okay, so how are we going to set these meaningful real goals then? How did I do it? So I was thinking deep into what's lacking in me. So I realized it's about the direction, not about the perfection. Direction. What do you mean by direction? I have certain things to be done. I have to complete my master's. I have to do my research project and ultimately publish the research that I'm doing. Those are the two most important things that I have for the year. But I can't set a goal like that. I can't say I'll do my master's like this. It's difficult. But instead, I found what I am lacking to achieve this. Most notably, I just found that I'm not very mindful all the time. Sometimes I just do the work because I want to do. Sometimes I'm very robotic. I rely on tools, equipment, or just do things. And then I feel if I had become more mindful, the outcome would have been much better, especially when studying. I used to go through the notes and do work, but if I had become more mindful, I would have felt what I am studying so much. And that gives weight and help me to stress less. So I thought what I should cultivate to make my outcomes really high. So I felt I should be mindful and feel and know what I am doing at the present moment. So for this year, I'm setting a goal to be mindful in whatever I do. It might be reading, it might be working, it might be even staying leisurely or just sitting somewhere. My first goal is to be mindful. Second one, I feel I'm a bit careless. I don't examine the things. Especially when I work, I feel if I had become more careful, I have found the solutions more quickly. So I don't examine. Even when I have different tools on the table, I don't look at the table very carefully and try to pick things. So I might go around the place and come to the exact same place that I was to find the solution had been there. It might be an equipment, it might be something else. So my second goal, second target is to examine carefully whatever I do. Just physically. This is not mentally, especially physically. And then finally, I feel the past year, when I look back at the past year, I had many challenges, especially during the fall semester. I was struggling to getting a good grade. But I could hustle, I could grind, do work towards the end of the semester very hard. I could work hard and get a good grade with a good GPA. But I felt I was procrastinating. I was just taking things simply at the beginning of the semester. Had I been more vigilant, urgent to get the things done, the semester would have been really nice. Semester ended well. It was good. The grades were great. But most of my work came from the second half. So this year I'm setting a goal to work with a sense of urgency. I have realized that most of the people, successful people, in different metrics of success, you might be measuring success in different methods, using different metrics, different directions, dimensions, whatever you think. People who get things done work with a sense of urgency, especially those who do work or complete tasks that most people think cannot be achieved. So the people who get things done work with a sense of urgency or try to complete things quickly. So this year, I'm trying to work with a sense of urgency. When a task comes, I'm trying hard to get the work done instead of waiting for tomorrow. So those are the 3 things that I'm intending to accomplish this year. Very simple. I feel this is flexible, applicable, not hard and fast. This is not very specific to a particular thing, particular task, but instead I can apply these 3 goals to anything I do. Being mindful, examine everything carefully, and work with a sense of urgency. Specific goals are great, but it comes with set of disadvantages and problems and subjected to change as always. Being flexible is really good. It has advantages. And even more, if we examine deep, try to find the root or the real outcome that you need, you can set some meaningful characteristics and traits that you want to cultivate. So I invite you to think about this twice when you set resolutions. Once again, I wish you all the very best and all success in all the goals, plans that you set for this year. Let's win this year together. If you have thoughts, please comment down below. This is just a discussion between you and me. Thank you so much for watching.